let's explore how experiences can deceive people and mislead. Here's one way. By substituting someone else's experience for your own. Here is a historic quote from one of the founders of the Adventist Church describing events as she saw them more than 100 years ago. I think you will see that this is a human dynamic and a human process that human beings are still doing right now today. If we mistake the wisdom of man for the wisdom of God, we are led astray by the foolishness of man's wisdom. Here is the great danger of many in, and we could insert perhaps America. Many in America. This is happening with many right now in the social justice movement. Let me put it this way. Is there a difference between a just cause and just actions? Are those the same thing or are those different? A just cause or just actions? Are they the same?
No.
Satan tricks people by presenting them a just cause. This is a just cause. But then combining it with the unjust methods of the world as the solution. That's the foolishness of man's wisdom. Let's use man's law and man's government and man's methods. The foolishness of how humans do it. We'll get power over people. We'll pressure them. We'll coerce them. We'll fine them. We'll imprison them. If they don't comply, we will fix the problem because it's a just problem that needs fixing. With unjust foolishness, the worldly methods. Understand this. In every human government, just look at history, folks. In every human government throughout the entire history of the world, some group has been treated unjustly. Sometimes it's based on race. Sometimes it's based on nationality. Sometimes it's based on religion. Sometimes it's based on politics, not joining the right party. Every human government has some group that gets treated unjustly. The movement going on in America right now is simply a grab for power to shift and treat who gets treated unjustly. It's not about actually achieving true justice for people. It's a trap. Continue on with the quote. These people who exchange man's wisdom, God's wisdom for man's wisdom, they have not an experience for themselves. They have not been in the habit of prayerfully considering for themselves with, notice these words, unprejudiced, unbiased judgment, questions and subjects that are new and ever liable to arise. How many in our society today are taking the time to prayerfully consider for themselves with unprejudiced and unbiased judgment the questions regarding social justice? Or how many are accepting the views put forth by the media, the angry, the hurt, and following what others think? In my blog this week, if you look on our Facebook page, many people commented against my blog without even reading the blog. They didn't read it, they just read the title, and then reacted and criticized. Is that prayerfully thinking for themselves with unprejudiced, unbiased, unprejudiced? No. Our society and our church are in danger because people are being conditioned to react, to follow, but not to think, not to reason, not to weigh evidences with unbiased judgment through God's design law lenses. Continuing with the quote. They wait to see what others will think. If these dissent, that is all that is needed to convince them that the subject under consideration is of no account whatever. How many people are doing this, waiting for the latest post, tweet, blog, statement from party leader or movement leader to tell them which direction they should go? Continuing with the quote. Although this class is large, it does not change the fact that they are inexperienced and weak-minded through long yielding to the enemy, and will always be as sickly as babes, walking by others' light, living on others' experience, feeling as others feel, and acting as others act. Understand what's just described here? This is a mob. This is a mob.
Anarchy, yep.
A mob mentality in which person's individuality is submerged in the group and thinks what the group thinks, acts the way the group acts, does what the group says. Continuing with the quote. They act as though they had not an individuality. Their identity is submerged in others. They are merely shadows of those who they think are right. Unless these become sensible of their wavering character and correct it, they will all fail of everlasting life. This is profound stuff, guys. They will be unable to cope with the perils of the last day. They will possess no stamina to resist the devil, for they do not know that it is he. How many right now are being duped into fighting just causes with unjust methods? Historically, Adventists taught, in the quote that I read, that religious leaders will join hands with government to pass Sunday legislation. That's a historic teaching. But why would people do that? Why would leaders do that? It's because they think they are fighting for justice, for God's kingdom, for trying to make the world a better place, a more moral place. They have a just cause. Do you see that? But we recognize that those methods are unjust. What about if we substitute Sunday legislation with other legislation designed to pursue social justice? Could such laws be passed that cross the line of simple equal opportunity to coercion, using methods of the devil to promote a just cause? How many today have no stamina to resist the pull of it? Continuing with the quote. Someone must be at their side to inform them whether a foe or friend is approaching. They are not spiritual, therefore spiritual things are not discerned. They are not wise in those things which relate to the kingdom of God. I see this happening right now. So many Christians don't seem to be able to differentiate between God's kingdom and the world's kingdom, between God's justice and worldly justice, between God's law, design protocols, and human law, imposed rules. They've accepted the wine of Babylon, that God's law functions no different than human law, and the way you make justice is you pass laws and you enforce the laws. Therefore, it's just for people who want justice to take hold of government and pass laws and force those on people and then punish them if they won't obey. This is why Christians are going to be duped. They are not wise in the things of God's kingdom. Neither young nor old are excusable in trusting to another to have an experience for them. So, substituting someone else's experience for your own, letting someone else do your thinking for you, is one way that experience can deceive.